Okay, so this is August 13th, 2018, The Abiding Place. And we wanted to share first, before we ascend, a little bit about what we as a bench experienced or saw. And so it'll be the three of us sharing. I'll share. Part of it is that we asked and engaged if there were angels assigned to this group. And we did experience, there were apparently 3 angels, and one we would describe as a angel that is a fire. It's like a bright light kind of a fire, but a very gentle fire that just brings such peace. And then the second angel, we felt that its characteristic is loving kindness. And the third is mercy. And together, they, as they come around us and we engage them, they bring us into a place of who they are. And one of the words that that would explain is shalom. Another one is they seem to have a gathering about them as they gather us together so that we become almost like a family, or like feeling like we function together as a lot of times we say that we're equal priests, but they make us feel like there's a word called a comrade or camaraderie. And so that we all work together or all function together amongst one another as a group, everyone here. And also the angels join us and impart to us what they have to give us as well. And I was wondering, did any of you other ladies have something to share?
I would just say that there was so much joy, and that when we first met together, we were just really celebrating and laughing and sharing things together, and really close together. And so there was that sense of that camaraderie. And also when we saw the angel loving kindness, that angel appeared to be kissing us on the cheek, just going around us and kissing us. And then we also we felt to just also engage and almost and step in to them. And yeah, that was also the other thing, was that we recognized there was a ministry specifically to our souls, that our souls were being ministered to a place of shalom. We were feeling such a sense of peace in the soul.
And a part of the soul that it felt like, as we were coming together and embracing each other, as all we embrace each other as one, that as the angels came around us, that we started actually dancing with them and acting, so that our souls became almost, we felt like we were just sort of silly with one another, and that there was not a care in the world.
That sounds lovely.
And I was saying how fundamental or foundational fire, loving kindness, and mercy is.
Yeah, they're definitely attributes of God on a very foundational level.
So I think we're ready to go in unless you ladies have something else.
No.
Okay. So Father God, we come to rest in you. We abide in you. We thank you that you're with us. We honor you, Father, and Lord Jesus Christ, Holy Spirit. And even our bodies at rest, our souls under your peace, sitting in your seat of rest, our spirits active and under you and hearing your very whisper. We close down any realm that's not of your kingdom, Father, and we put it under the blood. And we come through you, Lord Jesus Christ, the door. Together, we see ourselves, even as we ascended earlier, that we literally have an arm-to-arm embrace so that our arms are around one another's shoulders. And we move as one. And so we ascend now as one. Each of your voices, everyone here has so much to give that not one of you, not one of us is more important than another. You're all equal. And we certainly invite all to feel free to speak. If you're unable to speak, of course, we'll do our best to look at the chat, but we encourage you to speak. And now, as we engage these three angels, we're going to go quiet for a moment. And so as we're here, angel of fire, your bright living fire, we honor you. Angel of loving kindness and the sweetness that you are, we honor you. Angel of mercy, we honor you. So as we're engaging them, the first thing I saw them do was they went around us as we were circling. They circled and put their arms around us. Well, the first thing that I see is I don't know if you call it bands or chords of love coming down and encircling us.
I'm seeing those strands in different colors. Like they could be the seven spirits.
Yes, I was seeing the same thing. To me, I always see that as frequency, but as his spirits as well, I always see him in thin rainbow colors coming down like that, and I always understand it as frequency.
How does it make it? Does it have any feeling with it when you engage? If we engage the bands of colors or the frequency with them?
I'm getting music. I'm just hearing just songs, or frequency, sound, songs, singing to us. So I would say that that's what I'm seeing, is that they're singing to us.
Yeah, I had seen that too, and then you'll probably laugh because it kind of reminds me all of the singing to us and that we actually joined them. And it was just kind of like, hey, we're all together and we're all singing the same song. But I don't go to pubs or anything like that, but it's kind of like everybody is here together and we're all singing together and we're all just having a good time.
I think we're celebrating Yeshua. Yeah, like for he's a jolly good fellow.
I love that.
Now that's the spirit. Now we need to get up on the tables and start dancing.
And Doreen, that's exactly kind of what I was sensing is that it's exactly that kind of a song. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. And I knew that Elliot, that would kind of hit a chord of your humor.
Exactly. You know, there is something to it. It's a camaraderie, and there's a joining in frequency when we sing together. So I figure that's probably an activation piece.
I'm kind of wondering if Elliot, if I would actually take it literally, that I know that God had told me earlier that we don't have to sing on key, and that as an activation, I might take you literally, and that he would actually have us sing out loud exactly that. For he's a jolly good fellow that nobody can deny. And then see what happens when we go quiet and experience what happens as a result of activating in that.
Totally.
Would others like to join us?
Yes.
Would everybody mind unmuting?
Yes.
Mind.
I
With the
forgot.
pleasure.
Elliot, you're so funny. All righty. Me.
Okay. And then what I heard is that it's okay to unmute because it's not about being on key or any excellence at all.
Mm.
This is kind of a camaraderie song. And so it don't think that you have to be like a good singer. It's not about that at all.
Mm.
I
This is-
apologize for being late. Can I read Psalm 100 before we sing the song?
Sure. Is that what this is about? Sure. Love
Psalm
it.
100, praise God. Well, it says a song for Thanksgiving.
Yay.
Ian Clayton recommended it in his book. Lift up a great shout of joy to the Lord. Go ahead and do it, everyone, everywhere. As you serve him, be glad and worship him. Sing your way into his presence with joy. Realize what this really means. We have the privilege of worshiping the Lord our God, for he is our creator and we belong to him. We are the people of his pleasure. You can pass through his open gates with the password of praise. Come right into his presence with thanksgiving. Come bring your thank offering to him and affectionately bless his beautiful name. For the Lord is always good and ready to receive you. He's so loving that it will amaze you, so kind that it will astound you. He is famous for his faithfulness toward all. Everyone knows our God can be trusted, for he keeps his promises to every generation. Finished.
Wendy, that is incredible. And that's exactly it.
Hmm.
That's what I heard, Psalm 100, so that's why I read it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay. Are we guys ready?
Yeah.
What we're going to say is,
Ready.
Yeah.
I'll say the words first. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow that no one can deny. So it's 3 times, and then that no one can deny. Okay.
Okay.
So
But he's a jolly good
Good
fellow.
for
For
he
he
The jolly good fellow. For he's
the jolly good
fellow.
that nobody
nobody
can deny.
We sound like a bunch of drunk.
But this libation is
Praise you,
even
Jesus.
better than what you can get at the local place.
For real. Mm-mm.
This is so good. That you can just kind of keep singing it in your heart, and you're just gonna get more and more drunk in him. I don't want to crash anybody's party, but would anybody like to individually experience these angels? We might step into one. Okay.
Yes.
Which one would I'm going to leave it to you. There are three:
Mm.
the bright shining fire, loving
Mm.
kindness, and mercy.
Okay.
Me and Mercy go way back.
Okay.
So
Elliot, why don't we first, I'll have you lead us into mercy.
oh, Father, thank you for mercy, your mercy, that you sent your son. And mercy, the being, thank you for doing your work. We engage, step in, and explore you for who you are and how you unite us with one another and us with the Father. Through Yeshua. I'm being encouraged for everybody to smell, use the sense of smell mercy, because once you pick up on that aroma, you'll realize it's in a lot of places where God works, pretty much all of them.
Well, this is what I'm sensing, that I'm just breathing in the fragrance of mercy, and then I'm breathing out, and the mercy comes out, and the mercy goes in, and the mercy goes out, and the mercy goes in, and the mercy goes out as I breathe in and out.
An endless supply.
I mean, you know that song, mercy is falling, is falling, is falling. Mercy is falling like a sweet spring rain. That song was just coming to my mind, and I was just, it was like mercy drops of mercy, should I say, were just coming right in and just nourishing the garden of my heart, just nourishing the soul of my being.
I see what you're saying too, Michelle. That to me, it looks like in my heart that whatever, how the garden looks like to you, in my heart, my garden is actually very big. And it's big enough so that there can be clouds. And I see droplets, like you said, like a big cloud with droplets coming down so that my whole heart is nourished with this replenishing rain. And so that it brings this incredible calmness to my soul.
When you were singing that song, I actually felt a drop of rain on my leg.
Cool. I saw just a dash of orange in a length, like a stroke of a paintbrush.
What would that mean to you, Wendy?
To be quite honest, I don't know. I'm just learning as we go along and new as I go along. I don't know. I know it was a nice orange light and it was quick and then gone again. So I know something's happened, but what's happened, I don't know.
Orange makes me think of wisdom.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and yeah, orange is the color of wisdom. That was all. That was the only thought I had.
Actually, sometimes I know a person who their favorite color is orange, and they, instead of fire being red, they usually associate fire with orange.
Huh.
And one of the angels that's engaging us is called fire.
I have been seeing Lady Wisdom as a beautiful orange snake, with that verse about be as wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. And it came off of a photo that I saw of a real snake, and then I just started seeing her that way, and it was really neat because I'm making some decisions that really require that kind of sensitivity of knowing what to share, who to share it with, what not to say. So it's been really encouraging.
I actually got to see Mercy because well, a lot of times, just when I go to a place in Yeshua, and I know that Holy Ghost is their grace, is their wisdom, and then it's goodness and mercy, and I could never see goodness or mercy. I always thought they were sort of little, but I'm so thankful that that I was able to see mercy. And so, like, when I go back to that place, at least I can see mercy. I got to see wisdom the other day, and I'm just so thankful. So I actually could see the form of how mercy looks.
Am I allowed to ask how they look? I've not seen.
Doreen, I'd love to hear how you see them too.
So I've only seen Mercy so far. He's really, really big, like he's tall. But the way how I see him is like very, very, very tall, and it's he's it's like a transparent goldish color light that's his form. So it would look like a very tall structure that's actually drawn with light. So the inside part is transparent. It's like an outline of how I see him. He's really tall. And so if you see someone that is in armor, like with an armored skirt and like a breastplate and a helmet and stuff like that, well, he looks like that, but it's not colored in. It's the outline of all of it. And he's really, really tall. Yeah. Mhm.
So what intrigued me is that when you saw the outline of Mercy, he looks like a protector. I said that because did you say that he had armor?
Yeah, he did. And then so after you said protector, that's when I could see a sword. I didn't see this sword before. So yes. It's really, really tall. But yeah.
Don't mess with Mercy.
Mhm.
I love that, Elliot, what you said about don't mess with Mercy. And what's so beautiful about it is that we can all literally step in as we are engaging already and feel that protector of Mercy that comes around you in all circumstances.
Yeah, I just got the sense that Mercy and Mart are like sparring partners when they train.
Mercy and who?
He said the spirit of might.
Oh, I see.
Right. They're sparring partners when
I see.
they go to the gym and train.
Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah, I would just like to say that here recently understanding might and power came, and understanding might and power. So the way how I say that Mercy looks, those three came in the same type of armor, but all of their armor is gold. So when I saw Mercy tonight, I could just see the outline in light, but these three came actually dressed in all goldy bronze armor. So I'm just saying, when I go to the place that I engage in, these three were added later, and the three came dressed alike in the goldish armor. So that was understanding might and power.
So the three angels are Mercy, Fire, and was it Love and Kindness?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, what I was explaining was something different. Like when I engage a certain place, and Holy Spirit was there, and grace was there, and wisdom was there, and goodness and mercy. But later on, say 2 months down the road, the Father had added understanding, might, and power. So I was just saying that they came dressed in a bronzy color armor. But when I engaged Mercy tonight, I was trying to say the outline of his armor it's the same armor that these three are dressed in, but I could see the fullness of it, not just the outline. So they came dressed like three soldiers in bronze armor. I maybe it's not relevant to what we're doing, but it's caused me to engage these ones that I can't see. So it's goodness is there as well, but I can't see goodness. but tonight from engaging mercy, I was able to see what mercy looks like.
I want,
That's great. Thank you.
I want to confirm what you said, Doreen, about the gold with mercy, because I saw that too. And actually, I saw the droplets coming onto the soul of my being and the heart garden as golden droplets. And what came to me was, you know, we build with gold and silver and precious stones. Those things are tested in the fire and they don't burn. So anything that's of mercy in my soul, in my heart, the garden of my heart is gold. It's mercy releases the gold.
Yeah, and I also want to say that when the person had mentioned about the cloud and the droplets coming through the cloud, I saw it like a cloud over one person, you know, or you know, I just saw it as a cloud, and the cloud was right over the head of the person, and like the person became like they were sitting in a little glass dome under the cloud, and the cloud the droplets filled up the dome with gold. So whoever was sitting in there, it started little, and the whole dome just filled up with gold droplets, like it was gold water.
Something that came to me right at the very beginning that I didn't share was that I thought, you know what, mercy, of course, is in every single particle of creation. Because it was spoken, creation was spoken out of the heart of the Father. And so, it was just, so what I was getting was that gold, we were formed from the dust of the earth, which was actually the gold dust. And so the mercy in us, in our soul and in our body and in our garden of our heart is just the expression of that gold. We were created and we are gold beings, right?
I just wanted to encourage that if there was anybody else, that everybody can experience things different. And so I really encourage you that if it sounds different than this, it probably, or I could say that it will fit in because God is speaking to you.
Oh, you know what? That's interesting. As you were talking, it's sort of like a couple of things fell into place, and I've been praying for salvation for someone, and within the context of a person who doesn't really have a very good understanding of self-esteem or really knowing that they have a high call in their life that goes beyond today. So they're not having any specific problems in their life, but they have no comprehension that they've been created for more than just kind of doing your average secular day. So sort of within the context of thinking about Mercy and Mike sparring, I asked for Mike and Mercy to spar over the obstacles to salvation for this person. And I was reminded of something that I saw earlier today, and I didn't think anything really of it, but when you guys
Robin?
were
Robin, sorry, can we stay on the encounter?
I'm sorry, okay. I was talking about Mercy and Might, and I saw Mercy earlier as an angel with wings who then raised a sword, and then shortly after that, it was brought out that Mercy spars with Might. So that was all I was going to say.
Thank you. That was really lovely because it really goes along with what we were hearing about protector, that I encourage everybody here to continue engaging Mercy And again, if there are others that have seen things really different, maybe you see colors, frequencies, maybe you see shapes, letters. It could be anything. And so I encourage you to share.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much, because I don't see what you guys see.
Yeah, well, you saw Psalm 100. uh, I wanted to mention that I engaged loving kindness a little bit, and I'm seeing the form of it as like a really interesting flock of doves, I guess, like in a pattern that when you look at them from far away, it looks like kind of the form of a well, what is it? Classical angel, with wings. But if you look up close, it's like made up of a bunch of birds, doves.
Oh, I saw a beautiful picture when you mentioned that, like you know how mountain, all the tips of the mountains are covered with snow. I saw like all the birds, everything that you mentioned, out in the distance. It was so pretty. It looked like mountain tops, just the peaks of them, covered with snow, a lot of them. And it can also look like cloud formations. Um, yeah.
I love how the dove has come up a couple of times during this ascension. Could one of you kind of share what you feel the dove represents to you or to the group? I'd love to share something that Wendy just put on because it really fits with how I've seen loving kindness before. That loving kindness, when I first engaged her a little while ago, she came up to us and was kind of silly and giddy, and she started planting little kisses on our cheeks, and then she would run to the next person or kind of fly to the next person real quick and just plant another kiss on another one's cheek, and then she'd go around very playfully and do this. What Wendy said here is I have seen before a few times, and that is coming to mind now, is that an angel has come to rescue me a few times. His face looked like a telebubby, smiling ears extended straight out like elephant flaps. I don't know who this is, but I've also seen the angel in a picture I was given of Jesus, walking in and saying hi to me, and then grinning, looking back as he opened the door that was shut. The angel with a telebubby face stuck his face into the picture too. I have seen this dash of color a few times coming into the room. And I love how it kind of reminded me of the elephant flap ears and how this angel of loving kindness actually is almost like childlike. And so what Wendy said here kind of reminds me of childlikeness, is where you play peekaboo. So I encourage you to kind of engage her.
I'm getting the sense that the first time we engage this aspect of loving kindness, it's like flirty fun. And it is fun. It's like the taste of ice cream when you're really hot, you know, or cool water in a similar circumstance. But she's made up of doves, at least that I'm seeing, and doves in the natural are, shall we say, a deeper level of intimacy.
The Lord has been talking to me about doves in the context of Noah sending out the dove and the dove returning with a branch in its mouth, and as sort of a sense of grace and I guess basically that sense of when you are praying through something that takes a while for you to understand where to go with it or how to receive it. When you see that dove with a branch in its mouth, you know that it is accomplished. It's already accomplished. The land is there and free of the water that was covering it, and you can just rest knowing that you're able to just receive what you've contended for.
That's beautiful, Robin, because what we receive out of that is that, like we were asking the Lord about what the dove means, and I heard out of what you're saying, rest and peace. And with that, there's kind of a calmness and a shalom, a blessing that comes with it.
Sure.
Oh, that's really cool. When I've been to court a few times by myself, I've been catching the most tiniest image of flames. So I'm assuming that everything was sorted out. So it sort of goes very nicely about the dove you've just said. I didn't know that. That's all I have seen was flames.
Huh.
So Wendy, you said you saw flames?
Yes.
And
Oh, no, when I've been to court before, and that's why I said I was so keen to hear about the dove and the thingamajig in the mouth, because all I had seen was flames before when I was sitting waiting for Father Righteous Judge verdict in the court.
Oh. What does the flame mean to you, the fire?
Well, I am assuming the bad stuff was burnt up and it was done.
So actually that could relate back to the loving kindness.
Yeah, good. Okay. Actually, with that, I typed. There's an one. Tell me when I can speak for a minute, because or two, because there's this other thing that happened to me is just flooding in my mind here to share. And then when you mentioned about the fun part and loving kindness, I'm just bursting to share this with you guys.
I'd say go ahead.
Go for it.
All right. One day, a little bit ago, I was typing an update to a Catholic CEO about, the books published now and how it was going, and I thought I'd have a bit of fun. And I said, right, the angels are probably celebrating the finish of the Jesus book. And the next thing I know, I see this angel in the top of my doorway, swinging back like he's in a hammock, laying back in a hammock, having a ball, a face of infinite goodness. And he says, yes, indeed, we've been celebrating the finish of the book. And then later on, he's been again. There's a few bits, but this is what comes to mind, so I'll relate just those bits. One day when I was outside the bakery in our little town, having been to hospital, I usually speak to anybody and everybody. Anyway, I noticed this man and I just didn't say hello. It was so late in the day. And anyway, he ended up approaching me. And then I said, oh, I'm sorry, I usually say hello to everybody. And he says to me, yeah, I know you usually say hello to everybody. I've never seen this man before, from Adam from a Cowboy. And anyway, we got chatting, and then I just happened to ask him if he'd like, did he read gift ebooks? Did he like Christian reading? And I would give him the book. He said, oh, comes over the card, pulling out, oh, I've got a cross, I've got the Holy Spirit, showing me this. And so ensued a big conversation. And then I looked down, and then as I looked up, in the middle of his forehead, I saw the picture of the angel that had been swinging it like in the hammock in my front door room. So I can only conclude that was the angel that was he looked like Barney Rubble, this angel that I saw of the Flintstone cartoons, but infinitely nice face, full of goodness, swinging up there. And that's the face I saw in this man standing in front of me and engaging, talking to me. And he actually said a couple of things that I heard the bell go in my head, ding, 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 ding. You know what I mean? And then the next thing I know, I'm hearing, you never know when you're entertaining angels. And I carry on talking to this man, and that's when I saw the picture. And that blurted out of my mouth as well. And there he is, suddenly standing in a different stance,
Wow. Thank you, Wendy, for sharing.
Yeah,
wow,
so
that's a really good testimony.
Yeah, that's in the next manuscript I've got on the computer at the moment.
Yeah, I was just wondering I think we've talked a lot about loving kindness and yeah, that and the fun and the giddiness that goes with. I was just wondering if we would like to engage the fire itself, and I think it would be fun to step in.
Do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody feel that they want to do it?
Yes.
Okay, Doreen, why don't you lead us and just have us just step into the fire.
Okay, Father, we thank you for the fire. We thank you for the angel fire. And right now, us together as one, Lord, we are excited because we would like to just step in and just see everything that entails and what you have for us. And so, Father, together as one, Lord, we step in to the fire in the name of Yeshua.
the funniest thing that happened is I immediately was reminded of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that the fire engulfed. I heard this roar of flame, and anything, we'd been talking about the soul earlier and how God is working and bringing comfort and everything to our souls, that I saw what happened to them is the only thing the fire touched was the bondage that was holding them. Anything like ropes that held them, they were put in the fire with ropes on them. And even where the ropes were burned off, there was no mark. And so all bondage just burned off.
I received that actually. I just wanted to witness to that. I had the same impression of the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego furnace, and the predominant color for me was yellow, which is a really good thing because yellow is understanding, and I've been asking the Lord for understanding and counsel a lot for the way to move forward. So
Thank you very much. Anybody else have testimony?
It's just that when you had mentioned it during the fire, when you spoke about the bondage being broken, I immediately saw it was like the three of them were bound together with a black strap, and when you spoke that the strap was just suddenly burnt off for them.
I think that, I'm sorry, Elliot.
I think mine's probably divergent, so go ahead and say it, and then I'll say mine.
No, I would love to hear yours.
So what I'm getting when I'm engaging fire, first I kind of saw that we were kind of in some sort of flying fire vessel, whatever that is. But then I was like, so what about you, fire? And fire's like, well, most of the time I just hang out in the Ancient of Days. I'm around the throne, but not the one, not actually on it. But there's a lot of fire there, and so I like to hang out. And when I engage the Ancient of Days fire specifically, which is related to but separate and distinct from this angel, it was just very relaxing and peaceful and extremely hot.
That is amazing because that's kind of what my experience was a little while ago when I had stepped into the fire, is that you would think that it would hurt, but it doesn't. It's like what you said, it actually brought about like a peacefulness, relaxing. It was hot, but I'm not sure it was a bad kind of a hot. Maybe it's actually the kind of hot that the difference between in the way we live, hot or living cold.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of something. If the seraphs if the Father ever offers you some cookies that the seraphs made him, they're really spicy, and it's related to and somehow like the ones that I gave Isaiah so his lips became clean, or was it Jeremiah? Anyway, the point being that there can be fire from the outside, but you can also have volition for it to be on the inside too.
Yeah, that's very interesting because what I would encourage some of you to do, if you like, you can actually do what Elliot suggested, is step into what he said and invite the fire that you may see it around you, but then see yourself open your heart in the spirit to let the fire come into your heart and touch your soul.
I was thinking of the bush that was burning, but it wasn't consumed. When we're speaking of the gentleness and the peace of the fire. So it's like, you know, we're all engulfed in the flame, but not being consumed, you know, or burnt by it, but just walking within the peace of a burning flame, whereby it's not burning us up like the bush. It was on fire, but it wasn't consumed.
And that fits perfectly, Doreen, with what I was seeing that Joy was saying, is that she talked about the fire that was the 7 times hot fire from Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. How that fits is that in that kind of a fire, the 7 is, I believe, other people could probably speak into this better than me, but I believe that 7 is the number of perfection. And so it's a perfecting, cleansing fire. And then another thing that Joyce said is that it also puts us into a place of rest.
What you said earlier, Jeanette, about you saw that the fire was just breaking off anything like a tie or a bondage, any rope or any tie that was holding us in any way, that was keeping us from true freedom. And I was just seeing that just confirms to us that we don't try and purify ourselves. We don't need to try in our own strength, because we have the fire. And the fire automatically, again, is just a love blessing to us. The fire actually just purifies our whole being. And without our effort, and actually takes away all striving. That's why I felt like you said that there was just that peace. It takes away all striving, all feelings of the need to be in control, to try and do what is right or anything like that, to recognize that Father's already provided the blessing of purification through the fire for us.
Amen.
It's a friendly fire.
So for the benefit of Wendy or anybody else who would benefit from an image, I kind of saw that image of whenever Tony Stark as Iron Man like gets a new heart in one of those Marvel movies. That's kind of how I saw it when I let the fire go inside my heart.
Could you explain that to people like maybe me that hasn't seen that movie?
So the guy has a kind of a power plant in his heart. That's a cylinder that basically keeps pieces of shrapnel from going into his heart and killing him. And there's a segment where an old one is like wearing out. He needs a new one, so he basically unscrews it clockwise, unplugs a plug, and then takes the old one out, and then puts a new one in, plugs it in, turns it back clockwise, and then it's in again. The image is this glowing blue thing right in the center of this guy's chest. And what I saw was, I opened my heart. It's kind of like a hatch, like you would see a portal on a boat. And then all this blue flame was shooting out. And then the more orangey, it's yellow orange that I see, this angelic creature fire went in and like kind of really like added flames to the fire, if you will, added fuel and more heat on what was in there. And then I closed it back. And then I started glowing in the same color.
Cool.
Very cool.
So it started in your heart and then affected your whole being.
Yeah. And it's like way outside now. Like, what's that thing? And you see it from outer space. Oh, that guy, he just engaged with fire and he let it in, and then it's all crazy.
So it's like you're wearing around you and everybody can see it.
Absolutely. Oh, there's a transfiguration piece here. Yeah. Engage it.
I was getting either it's like the shining ones, or the man in white linen, how it would look like way from the distance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I encourage everybody to tap in.
So as you're engaging this fire right within your hearts, everybody who wants to, that what the testimony is that it will literally start shining light throughout your whole being. It can come out not just your soul, but as the heart, as the mouth speaks, that the same principle, it's coming out of you now. The light is now, the fire is seen, and all can see what's in your heart and are drawn because it's that flame that originates from God. And they are drawn to that flame that He is.
It's just that when he was first talking about the cylinder of his heart and how the blue light ran out and how the other light came in. It was just the words of a song that had come to me that says, change my heart, O Lord, and make us just like you.
So I look over my shoulder. So there's Yeshuva, and he like points to his heart. He's like, "Hey, that looks like me." I'm like, wow. It's like, you've got no idea. But he says that just and winks.
Is there anybody who has another testimony they'd like to share that could be different in how you perceive things? Concerning the fire that you've experienced?
Well, I missed quite a bit there, but just as I came back on and heard that you were engaging the fire, I stepped in and I'm breathing it, and it's like breathing it in and inviting it into my eyes and my ears. But then as I breathe it in, it coming like right down into my belly as I breathe it as well.
Yeah, I'd encourage everybody to step into what Quinn was just saying, to allow that fire that literally it was kind of like she was breathing it in through every part of her eyes, and you could even breathe it through all of your senses, all of your physical and spiritual senses. Just let that fire, that beautiful, purifying, that, you know, that restful fire, just touch even your body as well as your soul and spirit.
Was getting the sense my soul was saying, but I like this world. I like it the way it was. Spirit saying, don't worry. It's just eat your carrots or, brush your teeth. It's like, just enjoy the fire, breathe it in. It'll be okay. And it is okay.
And Elliot put it so beautifully that he was saying that essentially, that what I'm hearing out of that is when he's talking about just eat your carrots. It's okay, soul, that we can actually talk to our souls, and we can tell our soul, be at peace. Soul, be at rest. Do not fear, my soul. That in this fire, you just tell your soul the fire is good. The fire is helping you, soul. Just rest into the fire, soul. So while you're in this place of such tranquility from the fire and the aftermath of the fire, you can remember, O soul, the mercy, the protector who always brings you mercy. In soul, you can always remember loving kindness, how loving kindness comes and is gentle and humble, but also playful and fun. That you can have fun and play, be a child, or be an adult, but you're free. There's no bondages, nothing holding you back. You can be at perfect rest. So even as we're in this place, I just wanted to ask, does everybody feel complete for tonight?
Well, I know I've been soaking in it.
And even when we finish the recording, this can go on all night if you like. It doesn't have to end. These angels will keep engaging you, and you can keep engaging. So even though we're going to stop the recording, it doesn't mean that you step out of this place. You can be here as long as you like and come back to it as often as you like. And sometimes you may even feel a need to come back.